The man ripped the dress right off Mia's body in front of everyone, then tried to drag her back home. What he didn't realize was, a few days earlier, when he stole his daughter's surgery money, he had already destroyed his own family. Let's go back a few days. Mia had finally saved up $300,000 for her daughter's surgery. Then she checked her account. Every dollar was gone. When she called her husband, Ethan, he barely seemed bothered. He had taken their daughter's surgery money and used it to buy his niece a dress for a party hosted by the richest man in town. Why? Because they heard the billionaire's son was looking for someone to spend time with, and if his niece got picked, the whole family might finally get in with the Harts. As for Mia's daughter, who had been unable to walk for 7 years, they didn't think she was worth spending that kind of money on. When Mia got home, she found Ethan's mother and sister picking on her daughter again. Mia had put up with a lot before. Ethan playing favorites, his family humiliating her, being treated like the family's unpaid maid. For 10 years, she worked 3 jobs to support that house, and in the end, they still stole the money her daughter needed for surgery. But the second Mia saw her daughter shoved to the floor, she was done. She flipped the dinner table, picked up her daughter, and walked out without looking back. It was pouring outside, and no one would stop for them. Just when the two of them had nowhere else to turn, a Rolls-Royce pulled up. The man inside was Jack Hart, the richest man in Los Angeles. 8 years earlier, Jack had lost everything. Back then, Mia was working as a waitress. She gave him a meal and a few words of encouragement. He had been looking for her ever since, and the second he saw her again, he knew exactly who she was. When he found out her daughter needed surgery, he immediately took care of everything and paid for it himself. But at the hospital, Jack told Mia something even harder to hear. The marriage certificate Ethan gave her 10 years ago, it was fake. She had spent 10 years believing she was married, but the whole thing had been a lie from the start. Just as Mia finally saw Ethan for who he really was, Jack made her an offer. He would take care of her and her daughter, and in return, she would become a mother to his son. Mia agreed. Soon after, the paperwork was signed, and just like that, she became Mrs. Hart. A few days later, the Hart family was hosting a huge party, and somehow, Ethan's family showed up as so-called VIP guests. They had no idea the whole event was meant to introduce the Hart family's new lady of the house. When they saw Mia in a beautiful dress, they assumed she'd snuck into the party to catch herself a rich man. Ethan walked right up to her, grabbed her dress, and started tearing at it. He was trying to force her to go back home with him. Just as he was about to go after her again, Jack showed up. He immediately pulled Mia behind him, but Ethan's family still had no clue who they were messing with. They even brought up the fact that they had supposedly saved Jack's mother years ago, trying to pressure him into showing them some respect. But the person the Harts had been looking for all those years was Mia. She was the one who had actually saved his mother. Ethan was still talking tough, until Jack told him exactly how much Mia's dress was worth. $300,000. Ethan froze. Then he quickly tried to turn it around, claiming Mia had stolen the dress. But one sentence from Jack's assistant shut them all up. She is Mrs. Hart. To pay for the dress, Ethan had no choice but to hand over $300,000. And that was the same money he had stolen from Mia, the money that delayed his own daughter's surgery. Jack took the bank card and made the whole family record an apology video right there. Then Ethan and his family were kicked out of the Hart estate. Later that night, Jack officially introduced Mia to everyone as his wife. But Ethan's family still wasn't ready to let it go.